Okay, welcome back. As you can tell, I'm done. Like I said, I finished my UVW unwrapping, and this is the end result. You'll see if I zoom in here. I stitched my fingernails back in, but they're clearly visible, so I know how to paint them in Photoshop. I also, for the most part, this is the forearm, which I straightened out, made even, except for where the big bends are going to be at the joints. And these are the pants, which I made pretty much like a straight grid. Here are the teeth that I did. You know, if I basically with the teeth, let me show you something here. These are the front of the teeth. As you can see, these big UV polys are all the front of the teeth, because that's what I'm concerned with as far as texturing. The sides, the bottom, the in between the teeth, I made really small here because I want them taking up super small amount of texture space. I still have a lot of wasted space in here, but that's okay. Not a big deal right now. I'm sure it could have, you know, if I fiddled around, I could fit it better. But anyway, so that's what I did with the teeth. Here's the tongue. I didn't really worry too much about the sides of the tongue, making them smaller and stuff. I just got the whole tongue together. I know this area here is the front of the tongue, so that's going to be where a lot of my detail is going to go. As a matter of fact, just for the tongue at least, maybe I will edit that a little bit. So I'll show you what I did. This is the sides. No one's really going to see the sides. They could be solid red for all I care. So we're going to go here, and we're just going to drag. Actually, I'm going to use some tools here. Let's change this to move. What I would do on something like the tongue is, let me line these guys up as best I can in a row. Move these guys out to the side because I don't really care about them as much. So what I do is I grab these, and then I click vertical align. I grab this, and I click vertical align, and then I'll grab these guys. I'll click vertical align. Now I'll just kind of move them into place here. I could make the tongue area a lot bigger, so I could add some really nasty, gross texture on the zombie tongue. So from there, just to make it neater, I mean, we're going to check this with the checker pattern when I'm done, but you know, all these little click tools here are really good time savers. So that's basically how I cleaned up a lot of this geometry. What I'm going to end up doing is I need to see, you know, we're going to use the checker pattern in a bit, so I could see any kind of stretching that takes place. Anyway, I'm moving this close because I don't care about these sides. That's actually the side of the tongue that you can't see there. If I show you here, if we orbit, you know, it's big here, but for the most part, you know, it's going to be really hard to see in the model. So if those just remain solid red here, that should be fine. But as far as the top of the tongue and the front, you know, I'm going to want to do some specularity and mapping and bump mapping to really make that look pretty gross and nasty inside of his mouth. So there's some, you know, saving some texture space there. I also broke out the gums separately. The area here surrounding around the teeth. I hate doing that. Let's come here. No. Shift W, pan. Alright, you know what? I lost it. Come here, zoom extents. Come back in here. Just to show you. Okay, so I made the gums separate, so I want to add some grody details in there too. As far as the throat section, which is all of this, here. That's just going to be like probably a gradient that'll go from this is the front of the mouth here, so I'll do like a gradient fade from the red that matches the gums here almost to a black, and then down here this area here will be just a solid black, and I'm not too concerned about that either. That'll just be a solid black as well. But that's it. You see I flattened out the not gonna answer it, flatten out the shoe. These are the two sides, this is the bottom and these are the laces, so I can come in here and paint them up. I broke the head up into some parts. This is the nostril, which I'll just make some kind of grody green, and here's the eye. I left the eye pretty big because I want to add some nice, you know, I want to do a nice eyeball and I want that texture detail to stay in there, so I made this big compared to the actual eye socket. You can see the skull here. You know, we'll have to take a look at how this looks when it's checkered. And that's basically it. The shirt, obviously, and this is the neck part. This is this area here. You can see if I select it. You see, this is all just this here. So that's it. My UVW unwrapping is done there. One thing is, I used a lot of pelt mapping for the mouth. I know earlier in some of the earlier videos I was having a lot of trouble with pelt mapping. So my next video, I just want to address, I'm going to address pelt mapping as probably a completely separate tutorial that I could do in like 10 minutes just to show some of the powerful tools and what you can do with pelt mapping when you find yourself struggling with it or having some difficulty. I haven't seen a lot of tutorials that really cover it in detail, so I'm going to. I'll save. I'm actually going to save as, I'm going to call this Pelt 2. Save. Okay, and I'm going to end this here. We'll come back later, we'll apply the checker map, we'll check for stretching, we'll align verts and fix the way the checker pattern looks on the zombie. And then we'll be done with the unwrapping of this guy. And the tutorial after that, I'm going to make a completely separate series where we're going to go in, we're going to export the template here, I'm going to go into Photoshop, and I'm actually going to paint my zombie and create the textures I'm looking for. So, see you then.